Hi guys, Chris here for Drums Bonedo. Today I'm checking out two Dixon Gregg Bissonette signature snares. The steel snare in 14x6.5 and the new 14x8 big butt model. Have fun! It has been 10 years since Gregg switched from his former manufacturer Mapex, also based in Taiwan, to Dixon drums. The 14x8 big butt snare was recently presented as his third signature instrument, and this drum is dedicated to his father Bud Bissonette, who was also a drummer. For most of you, however, the affordable steel version in 14x6.5 should be just as interesting. The third drum in the group is a hammered brass snare, which is priced between the two test candidates, but was not available for this review. The steel snare has a 14x6.5 1mm thick shell with a black nickel finish. And the shell is straight, so it has no center beat, and this makes it similar to other well-known signature snares, which are quite inexpensive, such as the old Pearl Chet Smith snare or the former Gretsch Taylor Hawkins model, which is now available in the full range lineup. Both snares are equipped with 2.3mm hoops and 10 lugs, and the tuning screws are fitted with metal and plastic washers. Very good. Another special feature is that the tension of the wires can be adjusted on the strainer and the butt end side, while the steel snare is fitted with Remo UT heads. The more expensive big butt snare is fitted with Remo USA heads. And for the shell, Gregg has decided on a 6-ply mixed construction of walnut to outer plies and maple. And the shell, which is only 4mm thick, also has maple reinforcement rings, giving it a wall thickness of 6.4mm at the edges. The bearing edges are well rounded, which is supposed to give the drum a softer, overtune reduced sound. The outside of the shell is matte lacquered, but the inside is only finely sanded and not specially sealed. And the rather long tensioning screws, which also run flawlessly on this drum and in 10 tube lugs. The other parts, all of which are chrome plated, such as the hoops, strainer and butt end, are the same as on the steel version. And for the extra fat and crisp sound, the big butt model is fitted with a 42 strand snare wire. One word on the build quality: I think both drums are good but not flawlessly made. On the steel snare, the strainer lever is rather hard to move when tightening, and on the big butt snare there are some small rust marks on the hoops which can be polished off and probably appear due to humidity, but that shouldn't happen in this price range. So let's go to the sound check. I'm gonna play both drums in a variety of tunings. Okay, here's my conclusion. Both snares delivered a solid performance, but I find the inexpensive steel model slightly more convincing. It turns out to be a warm and universal sounding drum with a wide tuning range, which when played with rim shots on the 2.3mm hoops can also provide enough cut if required. Rim clicks also sound rich and articulate. When played without muffling, the sound of the shell is present but not overpowering, and there are no annoying overtones. The snare also sounds convincing from low to very high tunings and can also be tuned quite easily. I also think the price of 289 euros is fair. The wire response is good, but the wire signal doesn't glue with the shell sound like it does with very good and much more expensive snares from my collection. For backbeat music, however, the drum would definitely be worth an absolute recommendation, and only the sticky strainer on the test drum reduces the playing pleasure somewhat. The double-sided adjustable wire tension is also a nice gimmick, but in practice, at least for me, it doesn't provide any added value compared to a standard strainer with probably centered snare wires. While the steel snare turns out to be an all-rounder, the big butt is more of a niche instrument in terms of its specs. It's particularly suited to the low muffled tunings, which is hardly surprising given its dimensions. There are lots of videos out there with the master Gregg Bissonette himself playing the drum in those low muffled tunings. However, these VAT-ID, as we call it in Germany, or snom sounds can also be produced with other drums, some of which are definitely cheaper. In higher tunings, the 2.3mm hoops add a portion of sharpness to rim shots, while the woody character of the shell comes out best in medium to medium low tunings, depending on the playing style. For example, with center strokes, it can also sound like a retro drum, which is really nice. The wire response is excellent and direct, and I don't have the feeling of having such a deep snare between my legs while playing. And especially in high tunings, you notice that the shell is quite thin. I would have preferred a slightly thicker shell here. So if you're looking for a particularly loud, cracking 14x8 snare, you should look elsewhere. Okay, that's it for today. If you liked the video, feel free to hit the like button. You can subscribe to our channel, of course. And if you're interested in one of those snares, you can check out the purchase links in the video description down below. I hope to see you next time. Until then, bye!